Hello there everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and most importantly, Happy Birthday to me. Welcome to the first episode of NXT Ups and Downs of a brand new calendar year. We all have 2020 vision, is the pun that's been in every single PR email I've received this week. Now, a little birdie told me there was some tedious ratings patter last week. We didn't do a show, and then it bombed, and then it was like, oh, it's all over. AEW's absolutely wiped the floor with it. And shut up, I really do not care. We are back amongst it this week. Wednesday Night War rages on, my friends. And let's see, where do we leave NXT in 2019? Well, Keith Lee was the most over thing in the entire company, and the women's division was absolutely fantastic. So would both these things continue on into the new year? Well, I've watched it, so let's find out. My name is Adam Clery. On Thursdays, we wear yellow /#, and these are all the ups and downs for this week's episode of NXT. Oh, and would you look at that, we are starting with a giant promo for all the women currently in the title picture, and some women who were in a title picture in another company, so it was all a big, joyous mess. Now, I could go into a lot of detail here about who was good and who was bad, and who should be at the front of the queue and who should be at the back of the queue, and who should really be in Ripley's eye line and who she should be ignoring in these situations, but I just want to say, Bianca Belair, that popped me. That really popped me. Basically, right, Ripley comes down to the ring, starts to say some things, but is interrupted by Toni Storm, who starts to say some things, who's interrupted by Kaylee Ray, who starts to say some things, who's interrupted by Io Shirai, who starts to literally just say, mine, and then Bianca Belair comes down and goes, better than you, better than you, better than you. You don't even go here. And if you love Mean Girls as much as I do, well, up. And also, Candice LeRae was there. A big brawl breaks out, and Regal sends word to the referee, presumably. He WhatsApped him saying that's going to be a 6-woman tag match right now. And we begin NXT in 2020 the same way we ended 2019, with this big celebration of how good the women's division is. Now, normally this would be the part where I was like, damn you, NXT, putting an advert in just as things were getting exciting. But that Dunkin Donuts advert came up, didn't it, for the 2 croissants with eggs, bacon and cheese in it for $5. And I lived on those things in New York, so they get a blessed blessing from me. They are absolutely gross, but so am I. As for the match, everybody got their stuff in. They're trying to build a division here and build a division on NXT UK for the Worlds Collide match, and that is a smart move, given that Storm versus Kaylee Ray should be really good. But this is just scene setting. We're trying to work out who should be the next opponent for Rhea Ripley, and there was a little tease at the end with Candice. That would be a money match, but it's got to be Io, hasn't it, please? It is a bit of a worry. They have got 5 or 6 instant classics just readily available to them right now, and there aren't that many takeovers in which you can physically put them all in, and we don't want to have too many multi-women matches, so it's going to be difficult this year, them getting everybody a shot who deserves a shot. But in the here and now, great match, very excited, up please. And me, oh my, wasn't everybody in NXT a good boy and or girl this year? And all of them apparently asked Santa for promo lessons over Christmas. What an improvement! We had little backstage packages all night hyping up the North American title match, as well as these 2 specially crafted Tommaso Ciampa things, in which I know it's a coincidence and it's not a deliberate thing, but he keeps saying Adam down the camera lens, and that really me up. Special mention, though, to the Matt Riddle one, who wasn't even on the show tonight, technically, in which he told the story of how him and Pete Dunne came to be in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. He was like, you're a bro, I'm a bro. He did the Dunne special, I did the Riddle special, and the Broserweights were born. And purely for Broserweights and the general improvement in the standard of promos, I'm going to award another up, because I have that power. And speaking of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, we got our first match for the tournament proper this year, and I was delighted to see the Forgotten Sons would be taking on Eichner and Bartel from Imperial. And I'll tell you why, because they need to redo the tag division this year. It should be their major project. It's kind of been out of the picture because the belts have been on the Undisputed Era, but the men's title's been really good, the women's title's been really good, everything else has been really good, but the tag division was lacking. And the only ready-made tag team they really have is the Forgotten Sons. They got loads of TV time, they got loads of mic time, but they lost every single match of any significance. So what a genius move this is to put them in the tournament they did so well in last time and put them against a team with a big name but who can absolutely afford to lose that match. I mean, Imperium can't even go that far in this tournament because they've got that big match at Worlds Collide anyway, and even if they did, it's only really Eichner and Bartel. They're the other two in the faction. They can absolutely absorb a loss to a Forgotten Sons who are on a big... Sorry, what's that? Oh, it was a squash. Oh, they squashed them. Rah, I give up. And it was literally a squash. This was all Imperium. Like, they got virtually no offense in. Like, it was entertaining, don't get me wrong, but what is the point? What is the point of the Forgotten Sons? They've won nothing on television. They got that one squash match, and I think something that 50-50'd up a feud the entire time this has been on television. They're the only tag team, and... oh, down! I am sorry to be losing my mind over this because I know it's only the Forgotten Sons, but just throw them a bone, man. They lost so many matches, and this is such an obvious big win for them. And you got the shovel out! I mean, I should have clocked because they literally got a job as entrance. Like, they came back from the promo, and I know the music was playing, but they were already in the ring. That's the jobber entrance. Dear God. Anyway, right, okay, moving on. Austin Theory versus Joaquin Wilde, which is how I'm going to pronounce it every single week. And, okay, not going to get carried away with this because this was a bit of a letdown and we were expecting big things for Austin Theory. I'm going to weigh up precisely the goods and the bads of this. This is the whole premise of the show. So on the good side of this, Theory looked really good against Strong the other week and you need him to bounce back with a fairly impressive looking win. And for a squash match, it was fairly competitive and he did get to show off what he did, but... That's the good side. The bad side feels a little bit bigger. A lot was expected of this guy, and it is a crowded field in NXT, especially in the men's thing right now, because you've got Adam Cole all the way up top, then you got Balor, you got Gargano, you got Keith Lee, you got Djokovic, Cameron Grimes is emerging, Kushida needs to fit in somewhere. There is not a lot of TV time, and not a lot of spots for decent... I don't know how to put it. Like, Angel Garza wasn't even on the show this week, and he's got a belt. Like, it's really hard to get good TV time. You need to maximize your minutes, and if they're going to do a lot with him, they need to do more than this. I really like his finisher, and he did look good in the victory, yes, but it's just he's on a bit of a slippery slope right now because if you're gonna be hot stuff in the NXT men's division, they have to keep you on the boil for a long time until your moment comes around. They did it brilliantly with Keith Lee. They did it brilliantly with Bronson Reed. They've done it all right, I guess, with Djokovic. But then there's this whole other side of people like Raul Mendoza and Mansoor and loads of other people who are just, you don't care about when they're on TV. Austin Theory is going to go one of two ways right now, and this match is one step in the bad direction. I hope they're going to salvage it. I have faith that they will salvage it, but in the here and now, it's a down. More Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic action now with the team of Gallus. That's Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, but I'm sure you already knew that. Taking on the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. And just... Mauro, mate. Mauro. Both teams have more chemistry than a periodic table, but which one will be hotter than a Bunsen burner tonight? Ronaldo body talks like that. And this was not good. This should have been very good. It had the raw elements of being very good, but it was not good. Right, here's my problem with this. It was way more even than the other Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. It was actually fairly even-handed throughout, but what they were trying to present was that Gallus was like the power unit in this match, and Fish and O'Reilly were having to like engineer their way to a victory. But what you've got Mark Coffey, a big lad, and then Wolfgang, an even bigger lad, and you had Wolfgang being like the face in peril and Mark Coffey being the powerhouse. It was just like, it didn't quite work, and all the offense both sides managed to hit was just really sloppy. Like, loads of things didn't quite work, it didn't quite land, or they didn't get all of it, that old chestnut. It was just two teams that have a lot of chemistry together but had no chemistry with. It's just, no, bad, down. I mean, on the plus side, at least they did sort of protect the NXT UK champions by having Adam Cole sort of get involved in the match to cost them with it. But either way, Undisputed Era advance to the next round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics, and you presume will meet grizzled young veterans next time out. They've got Alex Shelley and Kushida, which is a great team, but just feels like they brought Shelley in so that Kushida can kind of take the defeat. I don't know what they're going to do with this. It's going to be really difficult for them to protect the UK brand, and historically, they do not care about the UK brand. Ah, yes, remember me saying everybody got promo classes for Christmas? Johnny Gargano comes down to the ring, gets a microphone and says, I have been waiting a very long time to get a live mic to talk about the Brits. And tell me about it, mate. Imagine giving Georgia Smith Best British Female Solo Artist after the year Dua Lipa had. Nah, I'm only kidding. He was talking about Finn Balor. Wasn't he? That famously British wrestler whose finishing move used to be called Bloody Sunday to commemorate the 28 unarmed Irish civilians who were shot by British soldiers during a protest for Irish independence. Finn Balor is not British. Hey, so funny story. Just gonna watch that promo back, and the bit where he says the Brits, he doesn't say the Brits. He says the Prince. I just misheard what he said there slightly. Obviously, that's fine. You can say that. That's fine. That doesn't invoke any horrible historical. Yeah, that's my bad. I'll leave you to it now. We're gonna leave it down though, because enunciate better, maybe. I don't know. Also, the point about Dua Lipa still stands. So yeah, that's my bad. Goodbye. And hey, come here, listen. I know I'm giving the promo a down right now, but Gargano versus Balor at TakeOver, when it finally happens after months of teasing me with it, just mwah, 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 mwah. Another squash match here as Miriam takes on Kayden Carter, and I'm broken record at this point because I think Kayden Carter's much better than simply looking really good in squash matches, but clearly NXT don't think that just yet. That said though, she did look really good in this squash match, and again, testament to Miriam, who is rapidly improving. She made her look really good in the process. That said though, it was just a squash match. Miriam picked up the victory. Kayden Carter again looked really good in the process. I gotta give it an up. It served its purpose, even though I don't really totally agree with the purpose of it. Oh no! Out of nowhere, it's a shocking forearm to the back by Chelsea Green for some reason. Yes, that's right, Chelsea Green is here and she's got a manager, and it's incredibly awkward. What are those shoes, mate? And I mean, I'll let the glasses go, but what are those shoes? What are those shoes? I mean, look, we've been saying for ages NXT probably needs at least one managerial figure, one mouthpiece for somebody, given the really inconsistent level of promos we get week on week. But I don't know. Is this it? Is this it, Chief? I'm not entirely sure. If this is any indication of it being, I completely even missed the guy's name. If this is going to be what it's like, you're going to sign a load of people up. It could be very interesting, but this wasn't. For me, it was just a really weak attack followed by a taunt, and then some guy rambling on the ramp about something I don't really understand with horrendous shoes on, and that's it. That's a down. I am hopeful for this in the future. I retain hope. I live in hope. But this was awkward and bad and weird and down. And I know I keep saying everybody's been like much better at promos, and this was a good promo, but we just got one last little thing for Dominic Djokovic ahead of the North American Championship match, and what's this called? I'm going to win the North American Championship match. Yeah, I'm really good. I said I was going to win it a while ago, but I didn't. But tonight I'm actually going to win it, and yeah, my family are going to be like, yeah, you won the title. Who are you talking to? Right, your main event time, Keith Lee, Cameron Grimes, Damien Priest, Dominic Djokovic, #1 contendership match for the North American Championship. This I was not as excited for by the end of the night as I was at the start of the night, because it was such an up and down wishy-washy show and the actual in-ring action wasn't all that great. But did it deliver? Ding dong, who's that at the door? It's this match delivering. Now, on the face of it, this is merely a platform for Keith Lee to get his takeover match, and I think we all knew that going in, so the challenge is to make everybody else look like a credible threat. And they did. Everybody got some amazing stuff in. Cameron Grimes, a man who I was like, wow, you're really doing a program where he gets his hat stolen? This is lame. He looked amazing in this. He looked really, really good. Given the height and the size he's giving up to everyone else, you genuinely believed that he was one cave-in away from winning that match. They did a really good job of building that up. It's just, this is the one. This is the one. I always say every week, don't listen to me, go watch the match. Go watch this match. There is a spot in this match, and if this doesn't sell you on watching it, absolutely nothing will. Right, Djokovic gets Priest, gets him up for a suplex. When he gets over the top, in midair, Keith Lee catches him around the waist, decks Cameron Grimes with him, decks Djokovic with him, then powerbombs him onto Djokovic's back. Damien Priest is a big man. He catches him in mid, just let him win the Rumble. I don't care. Anyway, as expected, this was the standout match of the night. Keith Lee catches Cameron Grimes in the Spirit Bounce, which is what I'm calling it forever. 1, 2, 3, he will face Roderick Strong for the North American Championship. It gets an up, it gets the yellow jacket. It was the best thing on the show. And you know what? I actually thought that when Keith Lee inevitably won this match, I'd be a bit disappointed because we've done Lee and Strong. This is ground we have trodden already, and there should be more people coming up for this mid-card title. But when you think about it, what other option have they got? They've got to do Ciampa versus Cole at the next TakeOver, and you can't just have Lee spinning his wheels with a random feud. He has to be going after something after the end of 2019 he had. And do you know what? Nothing on the next TakeOver show is going to feel new or exciting, but I do not care. It's going to give me a hard-on. So yes, the show closes with Keith Lee, arguably NXT's standout breakout star of last year, and it opened with the women's division, which was obviously the best thing about the show since it's been on television. So, well done NXT. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess this probably looks like it was a bad show. It was just, some parts of it were plodding, and you do have to have these episodes when you're building the stuff. You've got to do a lot of scene setting. You've got to do a lot of things moving around the chessboard. You're going to get these episodes every now and then. It's not the end of the world. It's worth watching for that main event and the opening match. But as ever though, let us know what you made of it all in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and wish me a happy birthday for Sunday. In the meantime though, thank you so much for watching. I've of course been Adam Clery, hashtag on Thursdays, we still wear yellow, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. 26 by the way, in case you're wondering.